Bertemu kembali, saham di pasaran Asia meningkat susulan optimisme berkenaan dengan vaksin COVID-19 yang diluluskan di Amerika Syarikat. Sementara itu, Bursa Malaysia dijangka diniagakan tinggi minggu ini dengan FBM KLCI dijangka lepasi para psikologi 1,700 mata. Menurut Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Inter-Pacific Asset Management, Datuk Dr. Nazri Khan, FBM KLCI bersedia untuk melangkah ke tahun baru dengan pengembangan yang pesat.
Tambahnya, sentimen positif dalam pasaran berjaya mengimbangi pengaruh yang lemah seperti penurunan penarafan oleh Fitch, data ekonomi yang tidak menggalakkan dan kejutan luaran. Beliau berkata, asas dalam pasaran tempatan mengukuh berikutan pelabur kini melihat bursa sebagai pasaran selamat dengan pembetulan di Amerika Syarikat. Mengenai prospek untuk baki tahun 2020, Nazri Khan berkata saham berkaitan infrastruktur, bank, pembinaan hartanah dan syarikat telekomunikasi akan kekal tinggi. Beliau tidak menjangka aktiviti pengambilan untung akan berlaku tidak lama lagi tetapi dijangka 1 atau 2 minggu selepas Christmas.
Dan untuk membincangkan unjuran pasaran Asia minggu ini dan juga faktor yang akan pengaruhi pasaran, kita bersama dengan Ketua Strategi Pasaran Global Aksi, Stephen Ines. Stephen, what are some of the factors affecting the markets in Asia this week? Would it be Brexit or the new US stimulus?
I think there's a lot of things going on under the surface. The lack of U.S. stimulus is the most obvious concern, compounded by Brexit. Interestingly enough, Brexit isn't really a massive play as far as the global economy is concerned. But, you know, looking at the timing of all this with markets really elevated and most equity markets closer to high, the markets investors are very much concerned about this because any type of wobble on risk sentiment, big or small, could probably trigger a bit of a global reset, and that's what the concern is right now. Of course, we're still dealing with one last hurdle to get above and beyond as far as central bank policy is concerned, and that'll be the Federal Reserve Board this week, so all focus is on the FOMC this week.
And how will the FOMC meeting affect the dollar this week?
Very interesting. It's obviously we're not seeing a great swing one way or the other. It's a bit surprising considering really the FOMC is the only central bank that's going to be able to influence the dollar to any great degree. We've seen central banks come and go without much really influence, especially the ECB last week. The euro is still trading where it was pre-ECB meeting. I think there's some concern here in broader circles that the central bank might not be as dovish as what the market is expecting. They've been sending out some signals, not hawkish signals, mind you, but a little bit less dovish signals that they'll be considering raising interest rates at some point, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. As far as its transmission into the FX markets, there's a good chance that the central bank's going to continue on with their QE, possibly expanding it, but that really doesn't play into the FX main street at all these days, as we've seen from other central banks that have increased their QE, simply because it moves rates in the long end, not necessarily in the short end, where the Forex market is really more content from what the Fed funds are going to do versus out to what 2-year interest rates are going to do. So I think the focus will really fall on what they refer to as the dot plots. The dot plots are what Fed members anticipate the change in Fed funds going to be. Right now, Fed funds are trading extremely low. There's no rate hike sentiment really priced into the market until 2023. If some of the Fed members move those dot plots a little bit forward into 2022, then perhaps we may see a more stronger reaction for the US dollar favorably, that would be. So we have to keep our eye on basically everything. I don't think there's a really one way or the other way. I think it's sort of a shot in the dark and a 50-50 proposition as we move into the FOMC this meeting as to what they're going to do.
And the US Commerce Department is set to release the November retail sales report on Wednesday. How will investors read this to gauge recovery in the world's biggest economy?
Yeah, it's going to be important. One thing is we should never underestimate the power of the U.S. consumer. However, this time around, I'm a little bit worried. There's some signs here that consumers aren't really excited, and especially with all the lockdowns that are happening. Sure, they're shopping online, but they're not really going to the malls. I'm not sure if online shopping can really supplant that, that euphoria that people get when they attend Christmas malls to do most of their shopping. So there's a bit of a problem there. My feeling is it's going to be a little bit worse than expected. And I think this is going to be the case as we move through into 2021, that the Main Street concerns around retail consumption, along with unemployment, are going to be major concerns. Right now, the market remains entirely vaccinated right now, and things look to be moving on sort of quite stably. Markets aren't showing any proclivities for selling off into the year end, and it looks like investors are willing to ride this wave of vaccine optimism along with possible stimulus optimism, and they may get channeled down the pipeline before year end.
You touched a bit on the vaccination earlier. Will investors focus more on the COVID vaccine in the US for this week?
Well, it's important because I think the big focus is going to pivot to the distribution. By all accounts, there's a convoys of truck leaving Kalamazoo, where Pfizer headquarters are located, to basically supply most of the U.S. hospitals with doses of the vaccine. Along with airlines have actually ponied up some of their planes to deliver the vaccine more distant parts. So this is quite positive. Well, however, there's one real obvious concern that we have to deal with, is that recent polling. Mind you, I'm not very pro polls these days. I don't know what they really mean, but the polls are indicating that somewhere between 40 and 50% of Americans won't take the vaccine. Whether this is because health concerns or whether they find it an invasion of their freedom, one or the other. A lot of people aren't really wanting to take the vaccine, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Remember, it's not the vaccine that will cure the economy, but how many people will get vaccinated is really going to be the end result, and how the economy is going to perform into 2021.
And Stephen, briefly, Airbnb's shares went up so high on its first day of trading, rising 113% above the IPO price to close at $144. What happened there? Could this signal that optimism is back in sectors affected by COVID-19?
I don't really know. I mean, it just sort of was nostalgic for anybody that was trading back in 1999 when the .com IPO started to lift off. I just issue a caution here that 2 months later, all these IPOs collapsed when the earnings didn't really beat. So I think you have to be a little bit careful. But in the meantime, it's those call option buying splurges by retail investors that are probably going to drive the bus again into 2021.
Okay. On that note, thank you very much, Stephen. Stephen Ines, Ketua Pakar Strategi Pasaran Global Exim, bincangkan berkenaan dengan unjuran pasaran untuk minggu ini. Teruskan bersama kami di Astro Awani. Saya Rizal Zulkapli. Ini Niaga Hawani. Salam hormat.